TikTok pushes live stream like I've never seen it on any platform the way that TikTok pushes live. If you can be there for a minimum of 20 minutes, then you're going to find yourself with TikTok pushing that live stream, more people coming into it.
Today, I am very excited to be joined by Kenya Kelly. If you don't know who Kenya is, she is a video marketing strategist who helps female business owners generate more leads and sales. She hosts the Kenya Kelly podcast, and her course is called Vertical Video Mastery. Kenya, welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
I am doing so good. Good to be here.
Today, Kenya and I are going to explore TikTok changes that marketers need to be aware of. And also, Kenya is a regular co-host on our other show, the Social Media Marketing Talk Show. So, Kenya, before we get into today's show, there's plenty of people watching and listening right now that have been ignoring TikTok, or maybe they tried out TikTok, but it didn't work for them. What do you want to say to businesses that are not focused on TikTok?
So I would say that I think a lot of times that business owners have been like, it's still this little dancing app, or they've been afraid that or hesitant because the US government has been talking about banning it. But as we can see, all of the political candidates are heavily using TikTok to run their campaigns. So it's like if they are there, then there's quite the amount of value that is happening. And the businesses that are taking TikTok seriously and have been for the last 4 years have exploded. And so now is still the time to get started.
Outstanding. What just for people that don't understand like the demographic of who's on TikTok, can you just kind of give them the skinny on who's using TikTok?
For sure. So right now it has completely changed since 2020. I think that the dominant audience on TikTok is still those that are between the ages of like 18 and 21, maybe a little bit younger. But the amount of people that are over 21 is millions and millions of people, especially when they talked about banning TikTok for the first time. The people over 55 skyrocketed. They ran to the app. So it's starting to skew a lot older. And it's not because it's this dancing place anymore. It's this creative entertainment space where you can express yourself, be different in your business, but also consume things that are not happening on places like X or Facebook where people like to fight a lot.
What about the kinds of businesses that are benefiting from TikTok? Is it just people selling physical products to consumers?
No. So the people that are selling in TikTok Shop and TikTok Live are those that, well, TikTok Shop mostly are products, but those that are selling services, like there is just something special that is happening there because one, TikTok is really pushing live stream like crazy. So many of us that sell digital products, we're using live stream as a way to connect with our community, and TikTok pushes live stream like I've never seen it on any platform the way that TikTok pushes live, but it's mainly those businesses that are learning how to create a content that connects to an audience, not just sell a product, but is able to utilize like their brand values in a creative way to, sell whatever it is that they're selling. And it does not have to be physical.
Okay. Let's talk about a feature that those that are using TikTok might not even be aware of. I know that when we were prepping for this, there was something pretty cool that you mentioned. So go ahead and share that with us.
Are you talking about the downloading?
Yes.
Yes. So TikTok, they had it for a while and then it went away. But now when you are getting ready to post a video on TikTok, there's a little button at the bottom of your screen where you can click and it'll download your TikTok video without the watermark. Now, for those of us that create content for our businesses, that's huge because we want to be able to repurpose all of our content because many of us have kind of been using these different tools like these apps where you can put in the link and they can download the video. But what happens is that the voice and like your mouth starts to get distorted. But now TikTok says, great, create your content here and we'll let you download it from here. And now you're just able to create TikTok videos and then download them to be able to repurpose everywhere, which is huge for me and my business.
Yeah, because in the past, I think people were using CapCut, right? Which is another tool by the same company, right? That makes TikTok. And now they don't have to do that. They can just create the whole thing in the TikTok app and download it and then upload it to Shorts or Reels, right? Is that kind of what I'm hearing you say?
Yes.
We were also talking about another feature that is kind of popping right now with talk to us about DMs.
Oh yeah. So I've been predicting this for like 2.5 years. And so I'm like, finally, I'm vindicated. So basically, with TikTok for the longest time, the direct messaging feature was not open. The only way you could get a DM is if someone followed you and you followed them. Then it became that it could only be message requests. Now it has completely changed. So when you are consuming content on TikTok now, oftentimes we're all trying to sell our products and services. And we know from a social media standpoint that if we can get people to comment or get them into our DMs, then we can have these private conversations. And so one of the things that has happened is that if you are creating TikTok stories, very similar to Instagram stories, when someone comments on a video and stories, it immediately goes into the DM, which is exactly what we all wanted to have happen, that those of us that are marketers. But also now, every single day, I have like 10 or 20 messages inside of my message request, which is people wanting to connect with me. And so for me and my team, I'm able to let my VA respond to all these people that are reaching out because they enjoy my content, want my products and services, and then we can sell to them in the DM.
Okay, so first of all, what's different about what you can do now that you couldn't do before? Is everything was a message request, and now not everything is? Just help clarify the difference.
Well, they didn't even have message requests. You could not even send a message to a person if they didn't follow you and you follow back. That wasn't even an option
Ah,
whatsoever. Yeah,
okay.
and now that can happen. But not only that, just I think it was a couple days ago, I noticed 3 different boxes for TikTok. So when you go to your notifications, you will see where you've got regular messages, and then you will see message requests, like even easier. So now it used to be kind of hidden. Now it's like it's very prominent. So you can see 20 messages, you just click it and then boom, now you can respond to everybody. They're
So it
making
feels
super
like
easy.
It's a bit more like Instagram, right?
It is 100% like Instagram. Yes.
So you mentioned you have a someone who works for you that's managing this for you.
Mhm.
Does this mean that there's a desktop tool or an integrations, or talk to us a little bit about that?
For sure. It is definitely on TikTok desktop. And that's how I do a lot of my replies, especially like, because, on TikTok, you go viral more on TikTok than you do on any social media platform. And so right now I have a video with like 4,000 comments. And so my team is able to just go to TikTok.com, my name on desktop, click on notifications, and they can respond to everybody literally right there on the inside of desktop.
Now, does it allow you to have different people that have access to the account, or do you have to trust this person to have access to your essentially credentials?
Yeah, you have to trust this person. They don't have that just yet. I believe you can do this on the inside of Metricool. I'm not quite sure. I think you can do it on Metricool, but
Okay.
right now it has to be someone that has your password, which is why it's very limited who gets access.
Right. So what I think I'm hearing you say is they may have an API integration with some of the social management tools that you're using, which
Mhm.
might allow you to do this, and then you can set, access credentials through the social media app, which would be really
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
been saying this for a while though. I've been saying that the API is going to open up, and as I'm watching all these different features come about, I think that that's probably one of the next phases is to allow for that because it's hard to respond to everything.
Okay. Now we're going to talk about video, right? TikTok started as a video platform. It's still the predominant kind of content that people publish on video. And there's been an enormous amount of changes. So let's kind of work through them. We'll take our time going through them and talking about each of them. So, where do you want to start?
I think probably where one of the things that TikTok is doing is they are becoming very intentional about longer content.
Mm.
And we all knew that this was going to happen because if everybody's only watching 10-second or 15-second videos, how much money can TikTok actually make? And so over the last year or so, they have been, first of all, encouraging you to create content that is longer than 1 minute. And so when they first rolled this out, they were telling creators like me, create longer content and I'll boost your videos. And that's exactly what they did. And now what we're seeing is that every video that is longer than 1 minute, you're going to be paid for it as a creator, but then you're going to start seeing ads at the end of your video.
Okay, so this is really important. So, what I'm hearing you say is they're incentivizing creators by saying essentially, we're not going to pay you unless it's more than a minute,
Mhm.
right? And that's okay. So, how long can you go? Let's talk about that a little bit.
So right now, I'm able to record up to 10 minutes on my main account, but I'm able to upload up to 30 minutes on my main account. That's a long time, but that's what's available right now to me.
Okay, so when you say that, do you mean upload from desktop and or your phone? Is just to clarify, and then when you say up to 10 minutes, does that mean within the TikTok app? Like, talk to me a little bit about what that means.
For sure. So that means that if I have my phone in my hand, that I can actually physically record a video up to 10 minutes. It's kind of like, you know how we right now we're recording or what have you.
Yes.
I can literally hold the little button on TikTok and I can record up to 10 minutes. I
Okay.
can upload a video that's pre-recorded on desktop or phone up to 30 minutes.
So, talk to me a little bit about like, I mean, have you seen 10 and 30-minute video stuff coming through the For You tab or whatever? I mean, like, do you think consumers are accepting of this longer form content?
I think that probably about maybe 9 months ago, when we saw our very first 10-minute video, it was an ad. I think it was one of the hotels. We were like violently opposing that ad because it was so long. But I think because they did such a good job with it, you kept watching the video. And so it's most videos on TikTok, or I wouldn't even say 90% of videos are still not 10 minutes. So I'm mostly seeing things that are like 5 minutes, sometimes, reaching up to 6 minutes. If it's an incredible story, like the girl who had a 52-part series about her marriage, that each video was 10 minutes. That was very dramatic. That works. But the traditional average video, people are not staying there for 10 minutes yet.
So, talk to me a little bit about what this means from a content strategy perspective, because most of what I think of when I think of reels and shorts and TikToks is always sub 60 seconds, right? And
Mhm,
sometimes even 15 seconds. So
mhm.
how do marketers need to be thinking about like paradigm shifting, if you will, the kinds of content they create on YouTube?
For sure. So when it comes to TikTok, one of the things you have to think about is that if you're trying to keep people there for a longer period of time, it's not just TikTok, it's just people's attention span and their habits. You have got to draw people in and you've got to keep them in. There are people that have incredible success with their longer content, but it's not just them talking directly into the camera, similar to what I'm doing right now. They are adding lots of B-roll, lots of text, lots of images. They're treating it like a movie. Like they're being very intentional with every single 5 to 7 seconds, like every like 5 or 7 seconds, something changes, very similar to a movie. And if you really are trying to get people to like consume the content and stay there to the end, you've got to treat it as like a production. I'm not saying you got to spend a bunch of money on each video, but it has to be where a person wants to be there the entire time. And so one of the things that happens is that you're telling them in the beginning what you're going to tell them, and then now you're taking them on this journey, maybe even in a roller coaster of a journey of to get them to the ending of what you're trying to share with them.
Okay, so for those that are listening that have a really established presence on YouTube, and maybe they've done storytelling videos on YouTube and they're used to the 10-minute or longer video,
Mhm.
do you feel like there's a place for them to repurpose some of that content over on TikTok?
Think that there is an opportunity. I think that they're going to have to actually test some of this out. I've known content creators who've tried to bring their YouTube videos over to TikTok, but you could tell that they were doing it for TikTok. So I think that if they're going to do this, then they have to figure out how to like make sure that first of all, the video fits within TikTok and not necessarily a YouTube video, and plan to the person's attention. So if you're already highly edited, let's just say like Sean Cannell, excellent. He can 100% repurpose there. It still may take some time for people to really watch the longer video, but he's already editing high. So yes, I think so.
What about, I don't know if there's an app. Is there a TV app for TikTok yet? Do you feel like TV is where they're going? You know what I mean? Like people at home, with a smart TV, possibly, because already people watch YouTube on their
Mhm.
television. Is TikTok moving in that direction?
Yeah, so they actually an app came on TikTok about 3 years ago, where it's on smart TVs where you can download TikTok, but of course everything is horizontal.
Right.
So I've been actually saying this also for the last 2 years that I think that TikTok is focusing heavily on horizontal content and pushing that, which they are right now, because I believe that if they're going to get more people consuming TikTok videos, then they've got to put it on a wider screen. So you've got to have it on desktop, on laptop. It has to be on TV. I know you can do it, you can watch it in a Tesla right now, but it's still very much horizontal. So there's actually
You mean vertical, right? I mean, it's
oh, sorry,
vertical.
vertical. Sorry. Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
okay. It's all right. So then, so what I'm hearing you say is most of the content that you see on TikTok today is vertical video, right?
Yep.
Up and down, right? Where it's tall
Yep.
and skinny. Is this a trend that you're starting? Is TikTok starting to say, "Hey, we want you to start recording horizontal video now"?
Mhm. Yes. So over the last probably year or so, we started to see TikTok encouraging us to record more horizontal content. Like I got the prompt telling me to record horizontal content. And when I started recording horizontal content, I got a notification. We're going to boost this video. So then they started boosting my horizontal videos. And I was like, very interesting. And then I saw another button show up on my horizontal video that said full screen. So if someone is scrolling on TikTok vertical and they see my video that's in horizontal mode, they can click on full screen and it's going to turn my video into full screen of their phone. They can turn their phones horizontal and then they can fully watch the video directly from their phones, very similar to YouTube.
Interesting. Very interesting. So, whew, this opens up a whole bunch of questions, right? Because most people that are filming vertical video are filming it, if they're smart, they're filming it so that they can multi-purpose it across Instagram and TikTok and YouTube Shorts. But now all of a sudden, vertical video like opens up a whole new kind of can of worms here. So, are you recommending people start like filming horizontal video and then position it so that they can make vertical and I mean, like, do you understand the puzzle I'm talking about here, right? Like, what should we be? Because most people aren't doing what we're doing. For those that aren't watching the YouTube channel, this is definitely a horizontal show that we're producing here, which, for podcasters who are doing video is an obvious opportunity. But for everyone else who's used to doing vertical video, how ought they think about recording it, horizontally? Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah. So one of the things that we've been talking, even my own self, is I started, like I have a camera that's like a little bit at a distance from my desk, and I've started recording like videos for YouTube that are like at a distance. That way, I can take that same video and I can upload it into a tool that will cut it up into short vertical video. So
and you're recording in 4K probably, right? So you can get a nice okay.
Yep. So I've been telling our clients to do that. And I've actually been telling them because I think it's hard enough for a person to like get into vertical video and try to do a horizontal and vertical. So I've been just telling them, okay, why don't we just focus on one horizontal video per month? That's a 20-minute video, and then upload that into a tool and let that cut it up into a bunch of clips for the month until they get into this rotation, because the dominant type of content people are consuming right now is vertical. So we still want to focus heavily on a vertical strategy, but implement that horizontal portion, because that's where video is like, it's like they're both going to fight each other like neck and neck, because it's still great content to have people fully consumed on one long video for a long period of time.
I don't know if anybody's doing this because I'm not active on TikTok, but could you do a split screen where you have, if you filmed it in horizontal, where you have your square version of you on the bottom, and then you're doing like video clips or B-roll of screenshots and stuff on the top? Have you seen anybody do that? Does that work?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah. So I don't know how they filmed it. I think this more so happening from an editing standpoint, where you'll see, like right now you see me full screen, but then other times you'll see me at the bottom and the B-rolls on top, or vice versa. You see that a lot over on TikTok, and it works extremely well. I get caught up in a lot of videos that have Grey's Anatomy at the top for like 8 minutes while I'm getting dressed, and then the person at the bottom is like sewing a blanket.
Okay. Well, and by the way, this is important for everybody listening, because this is how you can get creative with your horizontal video, right? Because if you're filming in the traditional like landscape mode, you could make a square out of it pretty easily without cropping yourself out of it completely. And then you could put something above it. You could have an editor, right? For example, create some visual that goes with it, and that way they still see your face if you're talking, and they could, so that's really cool. Okay. Live video. Talk to me about what's going on with live on TikTok.
Oh my God. So there is so much happening with live. There's so much that's happened since the last time you and I talked. But TikTok has there's so many different ways to create content on TikTok. And so it's like, I know your head is probably spinning as you are listening or watching on YouTube. And there's so many different types of content, but there's also so many ways to make money. And many content creators are focusing all about live stream. So me personally, when I am trying to sell my product or service, get people to a webinar, I'm using all about TikTok live because when you go live on TikTok, not only does it, alert all your followers, but your live stream hits the TikTok for you page. So people who just happen to be scrolling on TikTok are going to see your live stream. And TikTok is so focused on live that they are constantly rewarding you with free money and free this and that if you would go live for a period of time. And not only that, I just met somebody on the weekend who she started on TikTok live and made $100,000 in 4 months selling her products, all because of live stream.
Okay, so desktop, talk to me about that though, right? Because that's something you can do now with TikTok, which people may not realize. Desktop live, right?
So TikTok desktop, you can, currently, if you have a PC, you can 100% go live on TikTok from your desktop. But if you have a stream key from TikTok, then you can go live on all the platforms. Like me, I use StreamYard, Ecamm, and I will just put my stream key and I'm able to go live on TikTok desktop and of course be on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, all at the same time.
Okay, this is a big deal for anybody who does a live show, right? So, for example, we do a live show at Social Media Examiner, and we go live on, well, actually, we only go live on YouTube these days because the other platforms have kind of deprioritized live streaming, and we don't have a corporate account on TikTok. But this is really cool. So, if you have a decent following on YouTube and TikTok, for example, you could live stream both of them, which I think is really cool. Or if you're purely on TikTok and you use a third-party tool or even OBS, which is a free tool, you could go live specifically on TikTok. And the benefit of a desktop app, help everybody understand, like you can do stuff, right? Like, can you bring comments up on the screen and all that fun stuff?
Oh, yeah. Like I use StreamYard a lot of times for my live streams, and people will come into my live stream and go, "How'd you do that? How do you have text there?"
Yeah.
And it's like the amount of people that come into a TikTok live is 100 times what happens on any other platform. And I just leave my link up there the whole time, and there we go.
Okay, so couple questions about live. What happens after the live video is over with? That's the first question. Does it disappear?
So it disappears for the general public, but you have access to it in the back end where you can download it and reuse it.
Okay, what do you do? What's some ideas to how would you reuse it, for example?
So I don't like to reuse my lives, to be quite honest, mainly because when you're live, you're literally talking to the live audience, but you could, if I shoot it horizontal, I literally can take that same live stream, plug it into an AI tool, and it can chop up and give me some short form videos if I want to, because there are segments when I'm not talking to the audience, I'm just teaching, and you can use that same content to repurpose.
How long? Whether you use the TikTok app itself also allows you to go live, obviously, right? What's the recommended? Is there a limit to how long you can go live, or how short you should go live? Do you understand where I'm going with that? Like, what are most people doing?
So I always tell anybody, when you're trying to go live, people don't really know that you're about to go live until you do it. And so I recommend you there at least for 20 minutes, because even though you have your intention and your desire and all that, most people are focused on whatever they're focused on. And if you can be there for a minimum of 20 minutes, then you're going to find yourself with TikTok pushing that live stream, more people coming into it. I try to go live for about 45 minutes, okay? Because that allows people to come into the live stream. It allows people to share it, and it allows people to really get into a flow. Because one of the things that happens when you're live on TikTok, if you can get the audience to give likes, so it's kind of like when Periscope was out, you could tap the screen and give likes. Yeah. If you can get people to just hit the like button multiple times while they're in the stream, that pushes your video out on the For You page even the more. So it's no longer just your following. It is a slew of people that don't know you, and TikTok is pushing that stream because people are highly engaged with it.
Very fascinating. And as you mentioned earlier, you can sell your products and services during the live stream, right? So do you recommend, for example, just saying, hey, just for this limited time while we're here on the stream, we're going to have a sale, and when it's done, it's done. Is that kind of what you recommend, or what's your thoughts
Yes,
on that?
for sure. So what I would say in the beginning, try to just get good at doing your live streams, getting people to opt into your email list. That way, you're able to, of course, sell them on email. But once you're a regular streamer and people are used to you and used to what you offer live stream offers only. You will see an explosion. Like my friend with the head that made $100,000 in 4 months, she learned the art of having live stream offers only, and
Hmm.
just an explosion has happened in her business because of that.
Very cool. Okay. So we've talked about DMs and we've talked a lot about video. Now we're going to talk about something that's going to shock people: images.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Images, right? Because nobody thinks, at least I don't think, when I think of TikTok, I don't think about images. So talk to me
Right.
about images on TikTok.
So as I mentioned, there are so many different amazing things happening with TikTok right now. And one of the things is they are prioritizing image-based content like carousels.
Hmm.
And so when you go to create a TikTok video now, you're going to see where immediately it's going to default to photo. And that's where you can upload one photo on TikTok. Now, I do not recommend that you just post photos on TikTok. They're not going to watch that. What people are looking for is they're looking for story based content with your images. And so right now you can upload, I think it's up to 10 images, which I'm sure is going to go to 20 because of Instagram. And you can put up to 10 images as a photo carousel. And the way you want to utilize it is very similar to carousels on Instagram. You want to tell a story. So most of us will take an image of ourselves or what have you, and we start the first image out with like the amazing hook that draws people in, the story, and then they're swiping and they're getting the story. And so you're just putting the same type of carousel you would put on Instagram, add music to it, and you put it on TikTok, and we're watching an explosion because of what I think is happening next.
Okay, so that's really cool. So the fact that you can add music to it, that's unique that I'm aware of, right? So it doesn't matter how fast or slow you go through it, it's still playing the music. Is
Oh,
that correct?
100%. And it just keeps looping until you finish. Yep.
Huh. So, um, have you messed around with this at all?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
is
I
it
usually
working?
do it once every couple weeks.
Okay. And any specific tips on how to, like, do you need to put a call to action at the end of it, or is it just about providing entertaining and educational content? Like, what kind of stuff works?
So it's based on whatever you want to focus on. So sometimes I'll create content just to engage with my audience, just to connect with them, and I won't give a call to action on the last slide. But
Mhm.
other times I am literally telling you, go to my DM or go to my bio or whatever to grab whatever my free product is to, for a lead gen. But oftentimes I am trying to get them into my caption, very similar to Instagram, where I'm like, here's a story that I've shared with you. And now I want to share more with you down in the description, because you want to keep the text that's on those images short. You don't want, like, we're still talking about short video platform. So you want to keep that text to one sentence and they're able to scroll pretty quickly through what it is you're trying to tell them. And you can tell them whatever your CTA is on the end or in the description. But oftentimes, what we are seeing product based brands do is the product based brand may say, here's the perfect skincare for summer. And then their first image is like, it's the SPF. The second image is this. The second, and it's one image per slide. And now they know exactly what to go and buy for their skin from this particular brand. And they don't have to guess. Now they can click on a link and here's the bundle that they already had together.
Are these images vertical? Do you understand? Like, are they tall and skinny instead of sideways, like what we have on Instagram, or
No,
square? What are
they're
they?
square.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Do they look like is there like some sort of, like, how do consumers even know to swipe through them? Is there like a flashing arrow or something like that?
So you like when you see the image, you'll see like the little dots at the bottom. You'll see that there's a bunch of
Ah,
dots you can swipe through. Yeah.
okay.
And the people that know TikTok, we just
Yeah.
know that we can swipe.
Okay. All right. Um, TikTok notes. We were talking about TikTok notes. Explain what it is to everybody. Because that's something totally different also.
Yeah, and I think this is the whole images thing is the precursor for TikTok Notes. So TikTok has launched a new app. It's not in the US yet, and it's called TikTok Notes, and it's basically like an image-based platform very similar to what Instagram used to be. Currently, it's available in Canada. And most of us, we can't even see it in the US. Yeah, we just can see where certain Canadians will share it. And so what I think is happening is that TikTok has those of us here creating content with images. So that way these will spill over into TikTok notes. I don't know this to be certain, but if I had to guess, I think they're pulling an Instagram move where, remember when Threads came out, it was
Mhm.
connected to your Instagram account and you immediately got connected to your followers.
Right.
I think that TikTok is going to say, hey, you can click this button or whatever, and all your photos can come over to notes. I don't know it to be true, but that's my guess.
Well, and if you think about threads and you think about the word notes, like I don't think of images when I think of notes. I think of
Mhm.
writing. So
Right.
my guess is they're going to do written word content on there. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, because they've already been testing the written words on TikTok. They haven't it hasn't performed as good as they would like it to, but they tested it for a little while and we were all very hesitant. So I think that the what they were testing and the images are all what's coming over to notes. Because with Instagram threads, you can put images and words. So I think that's all of what's getting ready to happen on TikTok notes.
Okay, let's talk about Shop now. TikTok
Mhm.
Shop. Now, this is a feature within TikTok. It's not a dedicated app, right? So
Yeah.
just so we don't confuse anybody. So let's start with what can it do?
So with TikTok Shop, it's very simple. It's just like Shopify. So you're able to put your inventory on Shopify and then sell until you're out. Well, TikTok Shop is the same way. You apply for a shop and then you're able to place your inventory on TikTok Shop. And then you're able to, there's a lot of different things you can do with it. One is you can just directly sell through your main account on TikTok and through the shop. So if I go to buy lipstick and I'm on your account, I literally can point click buy without ever leaving the TikTok app, right? Which is amazing. The second thing is very similar to live stream. If I have a product based business and I have my products in shop, I can go live and I can sell my inventory on live like a QVC, which is the craziest thing that's happening on TikTok right now in a good way is business owners are coming onto shop and they're having this inventory and this inventory sale and they come on live for like one lady made $1 million in 30 minutes on TikTok live with TikTok shop. But also, what can happen is that I'm also a content creator. So let's just say you sell lipstick on TikTok shop. I can go into shop as a creator, as an affiliate, and you have said, Kenya, every single time you sell this lipstick, I'm going to pay you $3. Well, now I get the product. I can buy it or you can give it to me for free. I talk about it over on my TikTok. Every single time somebody buys it, you get paid what you get paid. And then me as a creator, I'm making a little bit. People are quitting their jobs because they're making so much money as a creator from TikTok Shop, but the brands are making so much because they don't have to spend a whole lot of money in advertising. They're just putting it in shop and then reaching out to creators.
Okay, I have a million questions. Okay, so first of all, you mentioned Shopify.
Hmm.
Um, is do you have to have a Shopify account to make TikTok Shop work, or can anybody go and set up a TikTok Shop?
I'm pretty sure you have to have a Shopify or account in order to make this work, and it's a process to get approved as a shop creator. You have to offer them your articles of incorporation. Like you literally have to go through the channels to be able to sell on Shop. Because one of the rules of Shop is that TikTok Shop is when someone buys, you have to ship within 2 days. 2 days.
Okay,
So they don't like, I mean, because people can do crazy
right.
things setting up fake shops or whatever. So now it's very highly regulated.
Is it similar to like an Amazon marketplace where there's a bazillion products and you can search through it, or is this something that shows up on your profile? Help me understand where this shows up.
For sure. So it shows up in it's called the TikTok Shop, center. So for you, if you are the product based business, this 100% shows up on your profile where someone is able to go in and click to see your shop, and when they go into your shop, they can see all the products that you have listed on the inside of shop. You also can see the prices, how many people have previously bought it. You can see all the reviews. All of that is there on the inside of shop. But a creator is able to go into the, TikTok shop as a content creator, and then they can go and search. We can search for walking pads or desk or microphone, and all of these different products are going to come up. But not only that, every single person that has bought the product and done a video about the product, now all the reviews are going to show up within, very similar to Amazon. You'll see all that there on the backside of shop.
Okay, so just to be clear, it sounds like if I went to Kenya Kelly's Instagram account and you had a shop, that's the only place I'm going to find your shop. Is that correct?
No. So yes, you can find it on, if I have a shop, you'll find it on my account. But if you go into the back of as a creator.
No, I'm talking about a consumer.
Yeah. So if I go into as a consumer, I can go in the back of TikTok shop to just search for products. And I can go and search for dresses or t-shirts or earrings.
So it is like Amazon. It's a lot like Amazon. Okay. And then when you click on a product, what do you normally see?
So when you click on the product, you're going to see however many pictures or videos you've uploaded, very similar to Amazon. You'll see all the written reviews. You'll see how many stars or how many not. You'll see how many of those products have actually sold. And then you'll see all the video reviews, because TikTok is so heavily on video that most people review them with video, with the intention of that creator wants to make money selling that product. So it's in their best interest to create content around that particular product.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. Now on the kind of, I'm going to call it affiliate because that's what everybody in our world knows. It sounds like can you choose to either allow or not allow other people to resell the product for you and take a cut if they promote it? Or is it kind of built into the system? Do you understand what I'm asking?
Yeah, so I think that you can definitely choose that, because not every brand probably wants creators to promote their products.
Right.
So it's definitely, they can do that. But most, I would probably say 95% want it, because the amount of sales that they make, because it's like everybody wants to be a content creator these days. And so now, they're only paying, it sounds bad, but pennies on the dollar, per what's sold.
They being, who's they? You mean the person who has the shop, or
the person who has a shop? Yeah.
So
it's in their best interest to let creators promote.
So do you as a shop owner get to decide how much you're going to pay the creators?
Yes, you get to choose whatever your percentage is going to be. Now, TikTok has its, I don't know exactly what the number is, but you can't say, I'm going to give you 1%. No. TikTok has their rules of like what you can offer.
Like the minimum kind of thing?
Yes. Mm-hmm, yeah. But it's never anything dramatic. So it's like $4, $5. If your product is high, then obviously you pay more. Yeah.
Yeah. And some products have bigger profit margins, obviously, than other products. So products with really slim profit margins might not be able to pull this off.
Yeah.
What's TikTok's game in this? How are they making money on all this?
So TikTok is making about, I think it's 2.3% per sale on every sale. So it's not high.
Plus the credit card transaction fee, do you think?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Because the amount of volume that is happening is significant that is happening on shop.
Well, and I would imagine you can, if you don't do business internationally, you can restrict it only to the United States, for example, right? Or something 100%, like that.
100%. Yes.
Okay. Fascinating. So how long has this been around, and how many products do you feel like is this a big greenfield opportunity where there's still not a lot of people selling in shops?
Yeah. So out of 100 businesses, I would probably say 3 are in TikTok shop.
Wow. Okay.
Because you still have people who don't see TikTok for what it is in general. And then on top of that, they don't see TikTok shop for what it is, right? So I'll give you an example. TikTok was just here recently, and they visited my friend that made $100,000. And out of the 100 businesses that had TikTok shop in the whole city of Houston, only a very few were really doing much of anything in TikTok shop. So it's just, I guess if you ask a bunch of people who are watching us right now, they'll say, what? You can sell products on TikTok? Because people just still don't know.
Okay. So many questions related to this. Is the application process challenging to get accepted or not so much? I mean, assuming you're a legit business and you have a Shopify account, and I'm sure eventually they'll expand to cover more than just Shopify. There's others like maybe WooCommerce. Do you know if they even work with WooCommerce, which is
Yeah, whatever. There's multiple. I don't think it's only Shopify. They work
okay.
with a bunch of different ones.
So is there, but there is an application process that you have to go through, right?
Yes.
What about selling services? You know, like there's people that sell local services, hairdressers, plumbers, I mean, all that kind of stuff. Is it just physical products at this point or even digital products? What about digital
Mhm.
products?
Right now, it's just physical products. However, I've been predicting this for a while too. I think that there's this thing called TikTok series, which they have like abandoned, quote unquote, right now, that they're working on something. I think that TikTok series and one of those things is going to be more digital products because the way that that was working was you could upload content up to 20 minutes and you could charge up to, I think it was $190 for the course or what have you. And so
Mm.
they kind of like broke that down and we're not able to access it right now. And I think that is what's going to be digital products and things of that nature.
And then if someone buys a product off of TikTok, is there a way to communicate with them like via DM automatically? Do you get all that information so you could maybe send them a DM and incentivize them to create a review when they get the product in
Mhm.
exchange for a discount on the next product, that kind of thing?
hmm So the moment you buy a product on TikTok, you are going to receive messages from the brand and messages from TikTok constantly encouraging you to review. You're going to
Mm.
get notifications on email and on the inside of the app to do the review, right? But also the brand like if you have products in shop, even if you haven't bought it yet, they can reach out to creators if they say, hey, you should do this. Like I got a message this morning for something from my phone, and they're like, hey, we'll pay you X amount of dollars if you will promote. So if I say yes and do that, they will continue to just following up with me. Some of them will then, if you sold enough, they'll increase your percentage of how much you make as an affiliate.
Hmm. And by the way, this is fascinating because anybody technically could become an affiliate, right? Like
Yes.
if you have a pretty big following on TikTok and for whatever reason you love a product, you can make some nice passive income. And I would imagine that video stays around for a long time, right? So that
Oh,
could be a
yeah.
nice little
Mhm.
return on investment. Is that true?
Yeah, so you just need to have 5,000 followers on TikTok in order to have access to TikTok Shop. I think they're going to lessen that again so more people can do it. But once you've got that video that you've been creating content around, that video stays. It doesn't go anywhere. You just continue to make money if people are buying. But also when you as a content creator, let's just say I love this phone stand or what have you, I can put it into this thing called my showcase. And so
Mm.
someone comes to my profile on TikTok and I can be talking about this product, right? And I can say, click on my showcase. And when they click on my showcase, they see the product there and then they can buy. That's like this microphone right here. It's in my showcase. I bought it on TikTok. And anytime someone in my community, my course, or whatever is looking for a wireless mic, I send them my link to my showcase and then they can buy it right there on TikTok.
Kenya, thank you so much for sharing all your insights on all the latest and greatest with TikTok. If people want to discover you, um, what's the preferred social platform that connect with you on, and where do they discover more about your business?
For sure. So you guys, you can follow me obviously on TikTok, Kenya Kelly, also Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, everywhere. And then my podcast, the Kenya Kelly Podcast. And if you want more information with like, working with me, just send me a DM on Instagram or TikTok and we can talk there.
Yeah, and for people that aren't watching, it's Kenya. That's how you
Mhm.
spell Kenya,
Yeah.
and Kelly
Thank
is
you.
Kelly. Kenya Kelly, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.